bringing you the latest Arizona high school football recruiting news year-round. This is the Recruiting Roundup on ProsToPreps.com.
It's episode 4 of the Daily Dozen. This is Jason Jewell, our high school football insider. My name is Jared Cohen. What we're doing right now, we normally bring you the recruiting roundup weekly, but right now we're bringing you the Daily Dozen. 12 players every day for the next couple weeks are players to watch for going into the 2013 season, which is just under a month away. Right now we're bringing you numbers 37 through 48, and we got some big bruisers on this list, Jason. The first one at 37, Kalepi Fafita, defensive tackle. He's a senior out at Central High School.
He's a player. He was the section defensive player of the year last year, but for some reason, no one is talking about him. He is a very good football player, has 3 early offers, Northern Arizona, New Mexico State, and South Dakota State. I think he goes into his senior season thinking, why is no one talking about me? Have a chip on his shoulder and has a big senior breakout year.
Well, we're talking about you on the Daily Dozen, Kalepi, so don't you worry. Number 38 is another defensive tackle, another senior. This guy out of Chandler High School. That's Cruz Flores.
A sleeper prospect. Northern Arizona's offered him early, but teamed with Jordan Hoyt, teams are going to have a tough time running the ball up the gut with these two football players. Flores is a thick, strong kid, just about 6 feet tall, but 270 pounds and almost a 400-pound bencher.
A senior over at Chaparral High School goes by the name of Marshall Forrest.
Yeah, another defensive tackle, but is also a very good offensive lineman. Has an offer from 2 offers actually from Fort Lewis and from Cornell. Former transfer out of Boulder Creek, 2-way player at Chaparral. I expect big things from him as a senior.
And then going back to Chandler High School, that would be number 40, Sean Franklin, defensive back for the Wolves.
Oh, they have athletes running around all over the place at Chandler High. Coach Iguana does a very good job. They have a very good track program over there. Franklin, I think, is a sleeper prospect. No one's really quite talking about him yet, but with a big senior season, which could happen, the kid might end up getting some Division I scholarship offers.
Well, Jason, we've talked about some big-time defensive tackles. Let's talk about some offensive tackles. At number 41, we have Centennial's Lath Frick going into his senior season. One
of my favorite players. He's super athletic, has many, many Pac-12 offers, Oregon State, ASU, U of A, Washington, just to name a few. He's 6'5", 250 pounds, and not just one of the best linemen in the state of Arizona, but one of the best in the whole West Coast.
Guys like Frick are so sought after because they protect quarterbacks, like at number 42, Emmanuel Gant, the quarterback out of Tempe.
Yeah, he's only a junior, and he had a great sophomore season. Threw for almost 3,000 yards, can run the ball. He's a big player at 6'3" and over 200 pounds. I think over the next 2 years, you're going to see him maybe breaking some passing records.
Number 43, let's go to Kingman. Why not? Rod Galeo, offensive tackle out of Kingman.
Yeah, no one's talking about him, and we haven't really mentioned him much, but his brother Trey was a 3-year starting left tackle at NAU, and I know the Lumberjacks are recruiting Rod, 6'6", 240 pounds, so he still has that big frame where he's going to get bigger and going to get recruited.
That was number 43. Number 44 going down south to Marana Mountain View is Corbin Gooby.
Yeah, not a lot of people going down to Mountain View and recruiting him. He's been on my radar since he was a sophomore. 6'2", 220 pounds, true middle linebacker, has an offer from North Dakota and from Northern Arizona.
One of the top 2015 prospects on the offensive line in the state comes from Horizon. That's number 45, Jake Grant.
I had a great camp out at University of Utah and walked away with an offer. Plays right tackle right now for the Huskies. I think might end up moving inside and being a guard. He's 6'3", 6'4", 260, 270 pounds, and I expect more offers to roll in as he continues to develop as a player.
Number 46 is a guy that's been in the news quite a bit of late. It's J.T. Gray. He comes from Coolidge High School, but it looks like he's moved over to the East Valley. He's someone to watch for this season going into his senior year.
Yeah, there's been rumors he's been over at Hamilton. Now he's over at Basha. Not quite sure where he's at now. I guess we'll find out at the end of August who he lines up and plays for. He's a kid with over a dozen offers. USC, the most recent, averaged 15 yards a carry as a junior at Coolidge. Big-time football player that is also a good defensive player as well.
Number 47 is a Hamilton player, and he is there right now, is A.J. Greathouse. Now, Jason, this is a familiar name from Hamilton High School.
Yeah, big name, athletic family around the state of Arizona. It hasn't had a whole lot of publicity at this point in time. Hamilton has a lot of recruiters coming through and has a lot of talent, without a doubt. What makes them one of the best programs in the state. good at developing players. I think if he continues to develop, he ends up being a college football player.
And finally, number 48, a state championship winning running back out of Queen Creek last season is Matt Guida. He was one of the state's leading rushers last season. Looks to be again in his senior season.
Yeah, rushed for almost 3,000 yards, was the state's leading rusher last year. Just a bruiser. But, he uses his brain as well because he is over a 4.0 GPA football player.
So that is it for episode 4. Brought to you players number 37 through 48. This isn't ranked in any particular order other than alphabetical order, if you're catching our drift at this point, ending in G. So we've got some H's coming up on episode 5, and we'll bring you numbers 49 through 60 for episode 5. Until then, that's tomorrow. This is Jason Jewell. I'm Jared Cohen. Thanks for tuning in to the Recruiting Roundup's Daily Dozen on ProsToPreps.com.